Hi, hello, and welcome to Cinema Express. My name is Ram Venkat Srikar. Today, I have a very special guest with me. I'm really thrilled to have on the show Mr. Matias Boucard, the director of photography of the recently released Netflix sensation, the French film Athena. Hello, sir. Hello, how are you?
I'm fine. Nice to meet you, Ram, and happy to join you on this interview. And happy if I can give some explanation to the audience, that all the fan of Athena and cinematography in general.
Wonderful. I'm looking forward to the same.
Organize the chaos, but let's don't try to control the chaos. Be sure that it's going to be safe, because the idea was like we didn't want that any accident or whatever. You're going somewhere, something is happening, then you turn, something is happening. Because we had to find a way to make it happen.
So this film, like the very first time, I had a colleague who consumes a lot of international cinema. He had tweeted about it, calling it like one of the best films of the years, and the poster was quite intriguing. Like it has Kareem throwing the Molotov cocktail at the police station while you see the fire in the background. That that image, it was so striking and fascinating. So I immediately checked the film out, and to be honest, I went into the film blind. I didn't have much idea about what the film was about. I hadn't seen the trailer. It's just that image. And then 2 minutes into the film, I realized that there has been no cut. Like there's no cut yet, that it's all playing in one single stretch. I keep waiting for the cut. I keep waiting for the cut. 11 minutes pass by. A lot of action happens. It was brilliant. It was truly, truly, truly mind blowing. So let's get this out of the way. The very first thing is, when at what point did you and the filmmaker Roman make this creative decision that you will be going in long stretches?
Yes, actually, Roman took this decision. It was already on the script. So when I received the script, it was already like first scene, second shot one, and then second shot two, and then second shot three. So it was all like the movie was like cut in like 8 or 9 sequence shot. And so when I first read the script, I was already in that mood. So that was a real creative decision from his part, because he wants from the beginning to be like to do and to craft a really immersive movie and a real experience. So that was the idea. We gonna follow point of view of like few people, and those point of view gonna explain us the whole story, because the idea is that the audience are part of the riot, are part of the story.
So I believe that the decision to go real time to capture what's happening, I felt the whole film, it had a beautiful, beautiful sense of chaos happening around, right? There is a sense of urgency. So when we see a film, a conventional film, say, that has cuts, we kind of know that as a viewer, we know that it's choreographed in a sense. But by going in these long stretches, I feel it gives a sense of urgency to the chaos there. What do you think? And what was your very first reaction when you read the script?
So my first reaction was like, how are we gonna make that? I mean, how it's possible? Where? How are we gonna find a location? And how we can start in a police station, going in the van and going out and going in and arriving, and then you get like actor scene, and then you have to
Yeah.
fly at the end.
Yeah.
But as a cinematographer and as a crew member, it's not because you don't know how to make it that doesn't mean that it's impossible. Doesn't mean that it's possible. So I just say, okay, let's cut all that shot in my mind in like different parts, and let's see how I'm gonna make it possible. And then I was like, how we going to find a reason that, because what I don't like with sequence shot is sometimes where you get some empty space where nothing is happening. So, and Romain was like really on that point, working with all the actors and with me and with everybody to find a way to have a really good rhythm inside the sequence shot, and not feel that it's choreographed, which means that it's not like you're going somewhere, something is happening, then you turn, something is happening. Because we had to find a way to make it happen. Like the camera is almost keen, something happened, but it's not well framed, and then you go in, it has to look real. So to make that happen, it's like part of a lot of work and a lot of precise work, and also at some point let things happen and do everything in real. Because when you do everything in real, when you feel the danger, the actor feel the danger, the camera is maybe shaking. I mean, it's like let's organize the chaos, but let's don't try to control the chaos, basically.
Just capture the
So
chaos.
that was, hey, yeah, capture, organize, be sure that it's gonna be safe, because the idea was like we didn't want that any accident or whatever, and then it's like also from the beginning, Romain has this idea about it's sequence shots, but if at some point I have to do a cut because it's better, because they give me more energy for something, we are free. We just want to do the best film. We just want to go to this version of the Greek tragedy. It's not a normal film, We're not like putting the not like a real story. It's a Greek tragedy. It's almost an opera. The music is not like urban music, but it's inspired from a urban music, which is famous in France, and everything has his own symbolism and means something, So we were like, let's do this movie that it's happening now in this modern day, but it couldn't happen 2,000 years ago or in 2,000 years, it's kind of in the same way that you do normally historical period movie about a battle. Let's do it in the same way, but but it's happening now, So that's give us a lot of like empty, a lot of space to be poetic, to find a way to bring the audience with us, and play with all the code of like action movie, and also like a movie like Ran from Kurosawa, or Gladiator from Ridley Scott, or so
the epic
it was
films.
A playful epic film, exactly. I mean, those that you do a lot in India, and those you like those
we love
those kind of movie, like
probably
like,
that's maybe one of the reasons I loved Athena. It could be that.
Yeah, maybe. I can imagine. I mean, I know a bit the Indian cinema, and you guys like those epic story, and you guys don't hesitate to play with all the code, and they are no like it's cinema, it's entertainment, it's a bit in the same way that we craft this movie and we build this movie with all together. I was just in charge of the image, of the shot, with all the department and Romain. I mean, it's a teamwork, so nobody is completely in charge of nothing. Everybody's in charge of everything, but it's the way that is in that way that that came from the Romain's mind.
Wonderful. While talking, you just said that you guys were very, cautious to avoid something that looks choreographed, right? So, how much effort went into making this choreography look effortless? Because rehearsals, prep, because everything is connected, right? It's just not one person that you're following here, but in scenes there are mobs, there are hundreds of people, and the camera keeps moving from one place to the other. So, can you tell me about the amount of pre-production and the rehearsals that went in before you actually began filming?
Now we actually, what happened? It's like first it was writing on the script. Then Romain explained me all the sequence shots on iPhone, and we were like searching together. I mean, he already have everything in his mind, in his brilliant mind. And what we did is like we take the decision to do like 5 or 6 week rehearsal with a really small crew. I was operating all the shot, and I was finding and designing all the movement with Romain. So I was operating everything handheld, no Steadicam, no gimbal, nothing, no drone. We were like just thinking how we do that, how we connect, where we have to be, with my focus puller and a minimum super small crew. So we did like a bad version of the movie for 6 weeks, which in 6 weeks we can basically do a movie in 6 weeks, but we just rehearsal first, just to design, to find the rhythm and to understand the shot. Then we did rehearsal with all the crew. At that moment, when we did this 6 weeks rehearsal, we had like all the actors and 10 cops and 10 young or 20 young riot men, and we were doing everything but downsizing everything, but rehearsing. So we learned how to do the shot first, and then we bring more people, and then we did a lot of rehearsal together, and then we shot, you know. And the more we shot, and the more people was trained, because it was always the same kids, the same cops. But the more we did that, and the more people was like in with us, learning how to do it. So it's a really long process that starts in the mind of Romain and Laj writing, and Elias also writing, and then you go to you have to find the location, be sure that the location is the right location, do all the story. So Romain spent like a few days thinking about it, and then he had me in the process, and then we had the production designer Hanot, and then we had the first AD Amin, and then we had the actors, and suddenly, you know, it's like a pyramid, and we were like more and more and more, and that's it. Yes, it's a lot of work, but at the end of the day, you just have one day with all the people doing everything in real, and this day you don't have a rehearsal. You know, it's like when you get the 300 people with the firework, everything, all the effect together, the chaos will be there. You know, you cannot choreograph that, you know. Otherwise it take maybe 6 or 7 times more time than that, you know. So you have to, you choreograph what is close to the camera, and you let the thing happening, you know. And you ask to the people, extras and everybody, you ask them to be themselves and to live the scene, and not just leave the scene, and not just like a playing. They're not playing character. They just like leave the scene. You know, that's almost the secret.
Wonderful. Can you tell us a bit about your crew? How many people did you have in the camera department? How did you run that? And I assume your focus puller must have had a very hard time.
She's an hero. I mean, I don't know how she did it, to be honest. And she did like almost 100%. Everything is in focus, all the take. She prepped her a lot, to be honest, to work on that job. She did yoga. She did breathe. She was like prepping herself like sport, you know, she was doing sport, you know, in a way, physical sport, and also mentally, and so I had her as a focus puller. I had 2 operators, Byron Ments, which was doing gimbal and drone, and also I had some handheld, and I had also some Emery Cola, which was doing Steadicam and handheld, and I did few also handheld scene. I did all the coverage, and I did few scenes. I was in the truck taking the camera, taking out the camera. I send you the making of, and so you get some picture if you want to share, which is interesting. I had also one assistant only focus on the iris and the filter, just to be sure that because to manage the change of light and everything, because it was really hard to get always the same light. Then I have two two people at video working only on on the wireless signal to be sure that we get signal all along, which was a big work.
Okay.
And I had one QTech operator and one DIT and also one second assistant. That was for the camera department. And the rest is like grip and sparks, like 5 grips and 5-6 spark all the time. And then we see it's not a big, huge crew, to be honest, for what we did, but it was like the good size of the crew, which means everybody has a lot of work, and we were like prepping. It was a lot of prep and a lot of logistic,
So I think I remember reading an interview of the filmmaker Roman, where he said he shot a sequence, or he used Arri Alexa 65. Is that true?
Yeah, we did everything.
And apparently, it's as huge as a fridge. How do you work with that?
No, it's not a fridge, but it's like 70 kilos, just the body.
Wow.
So,
oh my God.
So yes, yeah. So for the all the operator, it was a huge thing. That's also, where it was really physical, because you do a 10-minute take, okay, it's fine, but you have to do it 10 times. It's not like one time, it's like so it was a lot of work. So we did almost 80-70% with the 65, and we did 20-30% with the you say that with the Alexa Mini LF also.
Okay.
So because we use a lot of different system and stabilization system, and the good thing with Romain, he didn't want to just find one tools. It was, when we have to be handheld, we will be handheld. When we have to be on Steadicam, we're on Steadicam. When we need to be stable, we're stable. He was playing a lot with that, and we were playing a lot together with that, So.
Wow. So how different is it working with Alexa 65 as opposed to other conventional cameras? Are there any new challenges in addition to the weight?
Well, it's the weight. It's the fact that, but it looks like a bit you're shooting 35 mil in a way, because it's like you're not shooting with a small camera handheld and or using FPV drone or whatever. And the rest, I'm not sure. It was quite easy, actually. It's not like something completely crazy to do, but yes, it's like you need to find a way to put this camera in movement, this heavy camera in movement. That was the big challenge. The rest is like it's not, I will say, not that complicated if you know how to use it. Of course, if it's your first time, you just need a bit of training, but that's it.
So I was watching the making video that you had just sent me, and one thing that blew me away was the opening scene. I keep going back to the opening scene because it's just absolutely wonderful, where the camera goes into the van and then comes out of the van, where someone is riding the bike, and then it goes into the van. Were these how every time you had a challenge, you had to come up with a solution, right? So what was this whole was there a trial and error method that you had in place, that every time you hit a roadblock you come up with a solution to that? Was that the process like for you?
Yeah, I was just trying to not find all the solution at the same time, basically. It's first you need to start with what do you want to tell, how you want to tell. You need to, the shot, they're not that complicated at the end, in a way. It's like
Really?
it is not easy to. No, what I mean is like what made that shot working is the fact that they are narrative. They're telling something. You are surprised when you're watching them.
Yeah.
It's not just about how technical they are or how difficult they are. You don't feel the how difficult they are. Yes, it's difficult. You need train. You need to be focused. You need like good mates to work with you. You need to take the good decision at the right moment. You need good teamwork, big teamwork. Yes, but at the end, what makes this shot working is like if it's telling something at that moment in the story. So we were first like trying to not be too trying to like free about all this technical stuff, and not think about how complicated it's going to be, and just what we want and what we want to happen, and then we find solution doing it, not just sitting on the office. We had to do, we have to practice, we have to see the problem, and then we have to think all together how to solve them. And then we were solving that part, but that part was a new problem, and then we were solving that part, and then and it's almost like quite simple, because we did all the movie using some like really old techniques and normal cinema equipment. So we were like we did this movie using the 120 years of filmmaking, a story, and all the cinematographer, grips, whatever operator that they made many pieces of shot possible. And we didn't start this movie in trying to do something cool. We had the story to tell. We want to do it in that way, and then it became that. If you start by trying to do stuff as difficult as possible, as untechnical as possible, you're probably gonna fail, because it's like that there are no emotion in that. So it's the emotion that give you the sensation. That is the way when you look at it. You look at Karim. You finally, after all that chaos, you want Karim. He's out of the car. You want him. You look at his eye, and suddenly you get this movement, and then you realize that you're out of it. It's because you realize that a bit later that you get the emotion that, wow, I didn't feel it. It's magic. I didn't feel it. That's the part. I don't want to say it's easy, and maybe tomorrow I don't want to say it's easy. I just want to say it's not that complicated, and it's not that difficult. But if you're working a lot, and if production give you the time to do it, and if the director give you the time, and if the director give you all the idea, and everybody's work hand by hand, yes, you can achieve that. But 100%, everybody can achieve that.
You said that you guys didn't set out to do something cool, but I have to tell you that what you guys have achieved is incredibly cool. So the next question is, how many days did you guys film?
We had 50 days, 50 days shooting, and I will say 20, 25, 30 days rehearsal. So, but shooting doesn't mean nothing on that movie, because all the rehearsal is almost shoot. I mean, it's part of the shooting process. So we had, I will say, 50 days with all the crew, 30 days with quarter of the crew, and before 3-4 months of prep, and then pam.
Okay. Now I'm gonna talk about some of my favorite sequences. I'm really curious to know how you guys achieved those. One of them is the shot of the police going towards that bridge at night. The camera goes, it moves above them. Then we see Jerome climbing those stairs. It had to be so precise because the camera moves with a speed to make sure that it arrives at the ladder just when Jerome's face comes at the red light. You have to also see his face. Had it been 2 seconds earlier or 2 seconds later, we wouldn't get his face correctly. How do you achieve this? Okay, let me explain the whole sequence. We see Jerome going there. We see the cops assembling. We see the assault that's launched against them. The camera pans back. I thought, okay, this is a wonderful moment. I think it's gonna cut, but it doesn't cut. It pans towards the left. We see Karim standing there. I thought, okay, now it's gonna cut. It's great. But no, you guys still keep pushing it. Karim walks down. He takes that. He lights it up. Then it cuts. Tell me about the precision that you guys achieved here. It's wow. I mean, like it's. I found it brilliant. Tell me about choreographing this and the challenges involved in it. How did you guys do it?
Well, first, one of the big challenges was like being able to shoot under all this firework, because the steady camera I make when we're doing that scene is like under fire. You know. So then also how we bring, for the first part of the shot, we bring the biggest crane that you can find in Europe. Is a 75. I think you can find 100, but the 75. We put it on the. We had to find a truck. How to put it on the truck? We found a truck. The truck was like driving backward. People, all the cops was like really close to the camera, really close to this big trucks going backward. It was like already like quite complicated. To be able to get the timing is just rehearsal and be sure you get the timing, and you know when you're like sending the guy, but it was also the timing between the camera and the actor. The actor is also feeling the camera and waiting also for the camera, you know, in a way, you know, it's like, you know, that if the camera is not there, the shot is not good. But after that, you like have to run under fire. So if you I don't know if you don't really see that in the making of, but you know, they are like basically under all those fire, you know, those firework. Running and rah, 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 having like all the firework on them. So then after you arrive on camera and you get this cocktail Molotov and same, you know, you take the big shot, then you cut it by no problem, but by small technical parts, and you solve them. And say, okay, I'm gonna go from that camera to the things, how I'm gonna do this movement, and how it's gonna be interesting. And it came from the mind of Romain. It was on the script. It came from the mind of Romain. Then we find the location. Again, it's the same setup. It's like you start from the script, then a lot of day after, then you achieve that by working and visualizing before. You know, you have to visualize, because until the day that you're shooting, you don't have all the tools to visualize. You know, if you have to wait the camera to visualize everything, it's complicated. But it's a lot of talk. It's a lot of talk. And a lot of nights thinking with Romain, my grip, Sébastien Grasso, the operator, how we're gonna do that, what's the problem. Yeah, there are many problems, shadow, light, people, you know, and we didn't have like infinite resources. We have to also to do that with our resources. So it was not easy.
Did you have any sleepless nights before the shoot, wondering what you're going to be shooting the next day?
No.
Wonderful.
No, because it was such a long process that I will say that each time that we were like on before the D-day of shooting the second shot, I was like, I know I'm ready, you know. Maybe we don't achieve it and there's no pressure for that, but we are ready and I'm ready, you know. I didn't arrive and improvise anything, you know. I was like ready. I did, okay, this is what I want. I already showed to Romain what's going to happen in light, how we're going to do. Everybody know. Romain was a bit different because he has like a lot of like mise en scène and putting all the extra, and that was almost on that day. So I was sleeping quite well, I think, for a big movie like that. But it was long. It was a long. It was a lot of days thinking about how we're gonna do.
What was the first day of shoot? Like, what did you guys start with?
We actually start with the second sequence shot, because we keep the first sequence shot for the end, because we were thinking that at the end we were really trained to do those. And because it was the first one and the most challenging, we were, let's do the first sequence shot at the end. So we are going to be like completely trained, and all the crew, all the extra, and we're going to achieve it easily. And that's actually what happened. We achieve it super easily. We were like super trained to do it, you know. We were like, okay, no problem, let's go. You know, at the beginning, you need something to go in, you know. It was never easy. Never easy. Of course, never easy, you know.
The rest of the whole film was a preparation to shoot the opening sequence? Like it all trained you guys to shoot the movement.
Technically, yes, not in terms of emotion, but technically, yes. Yes, and,
Okay.
and because we had a rehearsal for the first shot before the shoot, we know also exactly what's going to happen, and so we were like not missing a part of the film.
Okay. One of my another shot that I absolutely loved is when Abdel goes to find Kareem and the camera keeps following him on the two-wheeler. He gets down, he goes, talks to a few people, the people in the right about where Karim is. He gets back
Mm.
onto the two-wheeler, and then it keeps following him. I think the shot finally cuts when we start seeing Sebastian, right? It's that top angle shot
Yes,
where.
yeah.
So in this question, I understand that you, after watching the making video, or like from what you just said, I understand that you have a person operator on a two wheeler, so probably following him on the road, that might have been relatively easier for you. But I would like to understand this transition from the ground to, say, the drone shot. You're following him on the ground, but then the camera goes on to expose the whole area. It becomes a wide shot. How did you guys figure out these transitions? So, so
I
come
cannot tell
on.
you. It's magic. It's magic. You need to find by yourself. You need to find by
Okay.
yourself. It's like I don't want to. I don't want to break this magical part. It's
Okay.
all the tricks, because then you. I think you get a lot of fun trying to understand how we do it, and I think it's a bit too early to explain exactly. I'm gonna explain, of course,
Hmm.
and I'm gonna, because it's fine, to explain, and it's not like a secret. But I
Hmm.
I don't wanna yet take off the pleasure of the people that gonna have pleasure to try to find how they do. So I understand that you want to know, but I don't want to
Yeah,
tell you
I'm
just
really
because
curious.
it's if I reveal all the tricks and all the way, then it become less interesting. So I think it's a lot of people are having fun now, and I receive a lot of message, and I'm really happy, and I thank everybody that love and watch this movie and have an opinion about it, even if it's good or bad, I don't care. But I think I don't want to take any pleasure from people that trying to find where, how, what.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
you get some if you really watch everything, you get some like tips in
Right.
a way. But I don't think it's interesting now, because it doesn't mean it doesn't gonna give the audience
Hmm.
it's gonna give a small pleasure compared to the pleasure to understand, is it flying, is it what happening.
So my penultimate question would be, how challenging was it for you to control the lighting when the action shifts from the interiors to the exteriors?
Well, basically, I use a very variable ND filter,
Hmm.
and I had to put a lot of light inside also, thanks to all the LED that you can find now, because you can, like, it's easy to have power and to catch. And sometimes I put ND on the window, and I mean I did in a really like basic way. I just did it in a big scale, but it was difficult, that's for
Hmm.
sure. It was a deal, but same again. It's like step by step. It's like sometimes I was closing the iris, sometimes I was touching the filter, sometimes I was like putting another light, a lot of light, or I was putting ND on the window. It was like different techniques that we all know, but combined all together.
Okay, and how hard it was for you to stabilize the motion? Because, like we said, there are a lot of transitions, and in order to make it look seamless, how would you stabilize the image?
Oh, we didn't. We stabilized the image using some tools. Going from Endel to Steadicam to
Okay.
gimbal to find a way to make transition, and find some pose, and find some pose where we like switching some tools. It's like it was hard, but again, it was like timing. So Romain wants something, then we had to work on how we make it happen, and where and how to solve all the problem. And then sometimes we were like trying to stabilize, but it was not possible. Sometimes we were stabilizing stuff, and I mean, honestly, it's on the moment. Also, you decide. Sometimes it's depending on the. But we had a lot of tools. We have two operators, gimbal, Steadicam, crane, whatever it is, and we did a handheld in different techniques. So we had also like a new things coming that it's like to be able to stabilize with doing handheld, but it's not a gimbal, but it just stabilize the horizon, that kind of stuff. But it was hard. Yes, it was super hard. So, but hard doesn't mean impossible.
Right. So my final question, this is probably going to be the toughest one for you yet. Toughest question for you. If you had to pick some of your favorite shots in the film, like forget sequences, just some of your favorite shots, those frames, what would you pick?
Stills?
Yeah, like just those frames. I know that they're all sequences, but are there any shots that you particularly like? I, for instance, love the shot where Kareem is addressing the crowd. I feel that's a very powerful image. Stuff like that.
I think maybe when Karim has his cocktail and is talking to his brother and he's alone and he's like from above, or when Karim we are on it back, he has the cocktail, you get the cops in the front. It's hard for me to choose one, but also the last image of Dali when he's already almost in paradise. Those you get so much like big symbolic image that is really hard to pick one, but one of those probably. And obviously, like I mean, there's so much in second shot. How you want me to pick one?
That's why I call it.
This movie is made of iconic shot everywhere, so it's complicated.
I also like that when Jerome comes out of the captivity, it's also again like a paradise. You use a lot of white light, and also even I love that moment where the camera lingers on his face.
I was lighting with a drone light at that moment, with the light on the drone, and I was lighting him like with a. So it was like something, because we almost catch his tears when the light is going out. So I was like with the pilot talking to him, and then now go. It was something. But it's cool, at some point after that you train, it's going to be like that. You don't have to do it, and then you train, and then you make it happen. Everybody's really focused, which is good, because all those sequence shots, all the crew is really focused. Everybody has to be on his on where it's supposed to be, Yeah, exactly. So I'm really glad, and I'm really happy, and it was really important for me to talk with your Indian audience, and I'm really happy also to have this talk with you. I had a really nice experience a few years ago shooting a Nike commercial in India. I did a commercial called Dada Ding like 5 or 6 years ago in Mumbai, and I'm really happy, and I really respect your cinema and your cinematography, and I'm really enjoying that we can share this movie with you guys, and I'm pleased that we had this talk together because I can feel how you're passionate and how you technical and how you know about what you know about this business. So it's a real pleasure for me.
Thank you very much for giving me the time. It's truly I had a lovely time. This conversation, this means a lot to me, because Athena is a film that I love, and just having you here, it's an achievement of sorts for me. So thank you very much. All the very best for everything that you have on your plate. I'm looking forward to them very eagerly. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.